that recorded? So yes, so the meetings are being recorded, but we haven't got any members of the public present here tonight or online. So as well as that, we have no public participation this evening, so no public questions. So we can go straight onto the agenda for our Community and Tourism Committee meeting on the 14th of March. First item on the agenda, apologies for absence.
I haven't got any, but I've got a feeling, with the exception of the town mayor, who has a personal engagement, there you are all.
All here, and welcome to other councillors who are not on the committee as well. Item 2, has anybody got any extra declarations of interest not already previously given this committee? I see none. So I would like to ask for approval under item 3 for the minutes. The meeting held on 7th December 2023 and 22nd of January 2024, which have been circulated. They're just being asked for accuracy. I'm happy to propose them. Could I have a second?
I'll second that, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Hughes. Could I just have a show of hands for all in favour, please?
That's good.
Thank you.
Sign those, please, Chair. Somebody should have first name.
I don't know what's reading.
My face is on too. Put your hands on the fence. That was cool.
Item 4, Chairman's announcements. It's with the Community Bonfire have advised that they're going to have their event this year on the 19th of October. They also asked if they can use our Town Council car parks, and we are looking at this to see whether it is possible. However, we already know that the Lions are due to be in for prostate testing on that date, so it may not be possible anyway. So we will look at that, and obviously the food vendors need access, etc., to set up early as well. So we will do what we can to see how we might be able to assist. Secondly, the Shopping Promotion Committee, which has been around for many years, is folding. And so they have asked if they can transfer the remaining funds to their bank account to the Town Council for use of the Christmas fair for this or for future years. So shall we thank everybody that's been involved on that committee, and we will use the money wisely. And I don't think there's anything else that was on the minutes that isn't already on the agenda for tonight. So if anyone's got any other questions or anything, we can pick those up during the course of the meeting. Okay, item 5, the tourism report. So that has been circulated, and very grateful for Alice being here this evening. Alice, do you want to start maybe with giving us a sort of, we've read the report, but if you'd just like to maybe pick out some of the key points and things you'd like us to highlight. I know we've obviously got a few things for consideration.
Thank you, Jeff. So hiring at Sunnyside Farm is going really well. We've got quite a few regulars booked in at the moment now. Yoga seems a very popular choice. We've got a cardiac rehab group, we've got a martial arts group. We've got a monthly friendship group which had their first meeting, which quite a few of you attended, and there was over 40 people there, which was amazing. We've got Swimming World joining on Saturday mornings. So it's filling up, which is really well. Although unfortunately, East Grinstead Cadet and Sea Cadets have pulled out of their regular Friday evening slot, stating that the room's not adequate because they need some breakout space, which is unfortunate. But we're looking to get that filled up as soon as possible, and hopefully the home working group will return for Wednesday once the Wi-Fi is in place, so they can work there. We've got posters and adverts around and people are contacting us directly for inquiries and birthday parties and things, so it's all going well on the hiring front.
Chairman, just before we move on from that, can I ask, we did say about having a second launch day. Do committee have any particular ideas when they might like that to be, so that we can get something organised?
Can you predict the sunshine?
No. I mean, would you like an evening, would you like an afternoon, would you like a morning? What are you looking for, so that it gives an idea?
Holiday weekend maybe, or something, to, I know that's working, but, you know, cuts into office time, but just to get as many people as their residents there that haven't experienced it that. There are only so many.
Probably not
holidays,
to
aren't
do
there?
Easter.
Quite right.
Bit close.
Yes, you're right.
1st of May bank holiday weekend is a busy one for us.
Yes.
Because obviously we've got the Lions Mayfair and we've got the marathon. So
June.
that would be taking us toward the end of May. So is that something you might like to think about? End of May? That would be nice.
Should be warm.
Yeah.
Look, hopefully your son.
Not going on holiday.
I'm on holiday, it's half term.
Yeah, so we'll look, and then, yeah, I think we've looked to do something at the last, at the end of May bank holiday. Okay. That's the point.
Yeah, I just wanted to understand that the groups move, are they new groups, or are they transferring from other places? And did we understand why? Is it the location? Is it the size of the venue? Is it price? What, maybe can you just?
A lot of the groups are new groups, like
Okay.
most of the yoga ones are all set up. And I would say about 80% of people who are using this, who have booked the hall, are because they live in Sunnyside.
Okay. Which is fantastic, because I think that's the whole point of having something that side of town, because there isn't actually many venues that side of town.
Yeah.
So that's great to hear. And Wi-Fi, so is it just the super fast good Wi-Fi is working, or is there no Wi-Fi at all?
There's no Wi-Fi at all,
Okay.
there's 4G that's dropping out.
Fine.
And there's an issue with OpenReach doing their bit, which is delaying the problem.
But the groups the groups that are currently there are fine with that,
The
they're not
groups are
willing to
fine.
rebel and.
No, the groups are all totally fine because yoga and stuff don't need the Wi-Fi, it's the
Might be
home
soothing
working.
yoga music, I don't know, but yeah,
Yeah,
streaming.
they can download
Fine.
rather than stream, but the home working group is the one that needed.
Fine. So it is having a impact financially slightly, because we're not having them join.
Yeah, yeah.
And do we have an ETA? I know, talking
It's still,
1 month, 2 months?
it's still getting worked on.
Okay.
Yeah, and then any timescales that OpenReach are giving us are just still getting pushed and pushed, so can't say anything reliable, really.
Thank you.
I was going to ask about Wi-Fi, Councillor Peacock.
It's just good to see that the officers are on the board, and the signs will be added for the fountain.
Yeah.
That system obviously went live, I think 18, 19, was it? Maybe 20, I forget now.
I think you were mayor at the time, weren't you?
Was it? I can't remember. It's got, I know, I was chairman when you started work on it of A&T, and then it went live. But it's good to see that's been introduced. So,
Looks good. We need to make a decision, don't we, on the map?
Yeah,
Or the
so
guidebook.
I just need to make an amendment to what was in the report on here. So we've got the possibility of having a free guidebook from Mad Ideas, who have got advertisers waiting, so they can go to print on that and it won't cost us anything. However, the map is proving a lot harder to organise. Ordnance Survey can supply the data, so it was understood that they could give us what we needed, but they can't actually do the data in the specified East Grinstead town. They can just do a larger kind of section. It's not really what we're looking for. So if we wanted to go over the map, there would be a cost. So I guess we can look at agreeing a free guidebook with no map, or postponing to when we can have a map with the guidebook. Unless anyone's got any other options that they want to, or not having any
So
guidebook
what
at all.
there's normally a map at the end of the guidebook.
The guidebook.
Yes, at the moment, we have this.
Yeah.
So this was printed in 2019. So there are bits of it that are out of date, but the core of it is reasonably okay still.
Yeah.
And then at the back, there is a pull-out full town street level map,
That's lovely.
which we wanted to update to include the new roads that we've got on there, but getting maps is
But we do have a sort of free town centre map that
We
can
have
tuck
this,
it into that, yeah.
which we have online and we have, we have online and we have available in the library.
Yeah.
We do get requests for maps, I would say about 7 times a week, from people who are either visiting or they're wanting to look up something specifically, they're wanting the street level map. But this town map is very useful for people visiting, trying to just get their bearings of the town centre.
I mean, we could tuck a map into the back of the guidebook, couldn't we? But I mean, that map, into the back or something.
Yeah, at the moment, yeah, it's just, there's a,
Move on.
pardon?
Into the new guidebook, I think is what Chairman means.
Oh, tuck this, you mean?
Yeah,
Well, we could have this printed as part of the book.
yeah, or do that, yes, exactly. Could we possibly do that, that work?
Yeah, I mean, it depends if there's, if you're wanting a street level map or not, like a full town map, or if this is
I think most,
sufficient.
my instinct would be that most people use it for if they're getting it, it's for walking around the town, so it's probably more focused on the town centre would be sufficient, and it doesn't need to have, Crawley Down Road, or, as an example, Castle Peacock.
From experience, I think I'd agree with you, because I know in the developing that particular map and book,
Yeah,
it was a very time-consuming process to build that for some reason. I can't reason why, but I think from what you said and the problems to create previous maps, particularly for that guidebook, I think go with the town centre.
Yeah, I concur. I think the thing is now, I mean, I think, please correct me if I'm wrong, and my memory's short, but we agreed last time that it would probably be the last time we would do something, because obviously you've got maps and everything, in Google Maps and everything on your phone, and I think you will have that. So this is, the simple map is there to get everybody, and then, we probably have to assist somebody with more, but most people have the technology, more simply, to hand.
But it's great that they've come up with it now with the advertising, which is going to pay for itself. Absolutely fine.
Yeah, I was just going to agree. I think we need to think this is a tourist map that people are going to get off at the station. If we could introduce it at the station to pick up, but they then want to walk from the station through the town to the various points, the fountain and so on and so forth. So I'd agree with that. It's one of those things when you like both, but I think my question would be, how long is there a finite period from which we need to give the go ahead in order for them to, because they've got sponsors now, because if it's not going to take long and it's relatively easy taking on board that it may not be, ideally having both, one at the back and then have the one that most people look at. But I do take on board the fact that I think the smaller one is probably of more benefit.
Well, they're ready to go now, but obviously we need to factor in writing and content and stuff, so we're looking at more kind of autumn time.
So it could be that actually we just make a call in the autumn that have we got that other map ready? Yes, no. If yes, great, we have it. If not, we
The
don't.
other map mean
The bigger one.
the big one.
Yeah. So
Well,
again, it's back to the pecking order of priorities. Put it at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, well, this would involve cost, the map,
Yeah,
so.
so we've got that map for free, whereas the other
Other
one we're
one.
actually going to.
And do we think there'll be no work on that small map needed? It's straightforward. I'm just trying to
What, this?
just whatever we need to do anything to that, and does it need to be put on a PC to make it
graphic designers who are designing the guidebook, I'm pretty sure can put that into here.
without any additional cost? Okay,
I
understood.
believe
Thanks.
so.
So we've got councillor Radley, then councillor Peacock, and then we'll take it to the vote, so. Right, Alice, could you please explain what the costs are going to be for printing
A map.
the map? Yeah.
So if we need to pay a cartographer to produce a map like this, it's about £2,000.
Okay.
Plus about £900 to print and fold it. Apparently folding's tricky.
Sorry, Chair, I just really wanted that to be made very that the cost of production of the map is not going to be a few £100s.
No,
It's
fine.
£900 for printing and
it's another
production,
thing.
sorry, £900 for printing and folding, and potentially up to £2,000 in order to actually produce the whole thing again. We will also have to source, which isn't a problem because we open the district, but we have to source all the new maps and put all the new streets and things and put it on. It's quite time consuming
The cartographer
when it gets
will do
thrown
that.
back to us. Really?
Yeah,
Last time we did it ourselves.
So
that's because they were the graphic designer. wasn't it?
councillor Radley,
Thank you, Chair. Thanks, Alice. Couple of things. Is it going to be available online as well, so people can like
The guidebook.
scan a QR code or something and it will come up on their phone, as in the guidebook, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, I can't go out without meeting about something about bikes. Can we put bike parking stations on the map as well? To
Why not?
indicate, yeah, where people can,
Yeah, we need to
Park their bikes.
locate them.
Yeah,
and put them
that's
on.
fine, I'm happy to help.
Okay.
Thank you. Councillor Peacock.
It was just to reinforce, I've been slightly delicate when I explained it was quite time consuming 2019. Dawn had to, as the office director, had to heavily manually edit.
Yeah.
It is very time consuming, plus the additional cost. I would say go with the simple mapping.
Yeah, yeah, I think that feels like, Councillor Gibbs.
I mean, we've kind of come to a conclusion on that anyway, but the smaller one might be more user friendly anyway. I mean, I can imagine walking around trying to open a big old
Yeah.
unfolding thing and that'll wind me up, so, yeah.
So you're, okay, so I think we've got a bit of consensus, proposed, is it into the formal proposal? A formal proposal that we are going to,
Insert the town centre map into the guidebook,
Yeah.
dispense with the 3-level map.
yes, dispense of the ordnance survey level map and go with the guidebook, which we've now got the paid advertising for, and have the town centre map in the back of that. So I'm happy to propose that.
I'm happy to second that.
And everybody, people in favour, please. Thank you very much. And Alice, thank you very much for all your work on that, and well done on finding someone that's happy to come forward to that no cost to council, so thank you. Okay, item 6, it's the State and Civic Pride report. Again, that's been circulated. Town clerk's happy to take any questions on the report. We've got some specific items that we're going to need to go through anyway, just to vote on, but we just have any questions on the report, Councillor Smith.
Well, it's actually not on the report, it's a situation that I discovered when I was up the high street the other day. One of the flower beds built out is full of furniture and catering equipment, and it's been tied up. It doesn't really look very nice in the conservation area. What can we do to get it moved? You know, one of the pergolas.
Alice, I think, can deal with
Good.
this question.
It's from the By the Fountain restaurant closing.
Yeah.
They're clearing it all out, so.
So where are they
the new
moving it
restaurant's
to?
Coming in, so I'm assuming it's not going to be there for long, but we can report
It's
it.
been there over a week.
Yeah.
It's not good enough.
No?
Okay, Alice, are you happy to?
Yeah.
Thank you, Alice.
Thank you. Councillor Stan.
I just want to say, I know that the Environmental and Sustainable Travel Committee came up, we're talking about the bus shelters. I'm quite pleased to see that reporting there. I'll report that back to that committee. We were talking about the living roofs of those, so I'm glad to see that that is still in progress.
Thank you very much. We just move through, obviously there's quite, I think, again, thank Alison and the team for all the work that they do on this. You can see quite how detailed, it's almost a meeting in itself going through the report, and we could talk about each of these individual items. But if there's no other questions, then we'll just go to the ones where we specifically need to make some decisions. So, yes, yeah.
Chair, can I just thank Alison and the outside services team, because I think the high street flower bed always looks amazing, but the dragon and the Chinese lanterns really I've had so many people stop and comment on those, and I think the flower beds are becoming more than just a flower bed. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, because they look amazing.
History to that very, very quickly.
Yeah, sure.
The dragon was created by Luke, our handyman, and he actually created it to go on the fairy trail, because we had talked about the start of the New Year, Chinese New Year, and wouldn't it be nice to do this? Was something we had a conversation about last year, and it was me saying, Oh, it would be nice if we had. Anyway, Luke, bless him, came up with this amazing dragon, which we felt was far too good to go on a fairy trail. So that's how it's ended up in the flower bed on the high street, because it's just so good. And yeah, so I'll definitely pass it on. Thank you.
Thank you, Town Clerk. Councillor Oakley.
Yeah, sorry, thank you. I echo what Councillor Hughes said there. Really great stuff. One quick question I had with regards to Blackbell Hollow, and is that reference to the hedge that's opposite Escotts Drive, the entrance to Escotts Drive on the Blackbell Hollow, at the top end of the hill? You were talking, it made reference to West Sussex responsible for ensuring the safety of their highways, and had a report from the local bus company that the trees, vegetation along the hollow.
Ah, right, no, that's talking about the trees and vegetation actually as you go through the hollow. We had a letter from West Sussex County Council asking us to please deal with that vegetation because the drivers have been complaining, literally as they're going down the hollow, it's just too overgrown. But the bank, with the exception of the small area, as in the report, with the exception of the small area behind the old courthouse, none of the bank belongs to the town council. So we've had to move them on to the district to go and take that matter up a bit further.
Right, okay, that's fine. I was just that I didn't reference there's hedges on at the top end of that hill, which are really protruding by about a metre into the road. I didn't know if that was referenced or not. I'll email Town Clerk.
If you're talking about going down the hollow, yes, it will be. It will be, yeah.
Okay, right, Councillor Pond.
Sorry, just on the subsidence claim, and apologies, I don't have the backstory on that. Do we believe that is now done? And there's no, it says here there's no payment that's been made and no further contact. What was that in relation to? Brief.
Can I have a report?
Sorry.
Before Blackwell Hollow, after fallen trees.
Chair, I really don't know. I don't remember anything about a substance claim at all.
No, neither.
So I'm going to have to take that one back to Watson, I'm afraid. But we will come back to you. We will come back to you on that. I'm afraid that one's completely passed
That's
by.
right. It's all right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The bin, the Tennis Hill wreck.
Yes.
It kind of read, and maybe I've just not walked, the weather's been rubbish, I've not done my usual walk around there. There was a bin there, certainly before Christmas. Yeah. It kind of indicates that there wasn't at some point in the report.
There isn't a bin there at the moment.
Is there not? Okay.
No, there wasn't. You're quite right, but I think it was a bit early, a bit longer ago than before Christmas.
Sorry, we're talking about a normal bin.
A normal bin on the Turners Hill Road wreck. We haven't had a bin there for ages.
I'm going mad here because I used to walk up there, pick up litter, put it in a bin.
We are going
of some description there.
Actually,
oh, sorry.
Inside.
Inside. I must be losing. I must be putting it. Who knows where I'm putting it? But I used to pick it up and put it in a bin, I swear. But anyway, there we go.
So we're just going to go on. Yes, that's the second item.
Apologies, Chair.
That's all right. No, it's just. So if we go to the first item, is just regarding. I think we know there's now been a little bit of history regarding the guinea pig bench and sort of in relation to the flower beds and sort of the guinea pig club. We've been asked if we would like to add a guinea pig plaque to the High Street flower bed. Town Clerk, do you wish to say anything on that?
I think it's quite straightforward in there. We didn't realise until it was pointed out by one of the townsfolk who's very active on Twitter that the beds had been dedicated as guinea pig beds. Of course, besides the ones at the Royal Memorial now, the other two have been taken over, or two of the other three have been taken over by eateries as their outdoor space. But when we put the Queen Coronation, the Queen Jubilee bench up, and then obviously the King Coronation bench up, it just didn't seem appropriate to have the guinea pig bench there anymore, and that had been moved to the the Macindoe statue, which is all about the guinea pigs and all about Macindoe. So we've moved that, which has got the plaque on it, and talked about the guinea pigs, which is lovely, all to the same place. But it's been picked up, as I said, by a gentleman on Twitter, that it's actually the beds that were dedicated to the guinea pigs, which we didn't know, didn't have a clue about that at all. So we said, well, we can't really put a bench back there, because we can't really put a plaque on the Queen bench or the King bench. It's just going to be out of place. But what we could do, if committee are interested in doing so, put a plaque, put a sign actually inside the lip of the flower bed, just to make the comment that it is that these beds are the guinea pig beds.
People happy, I mean, it seems quite straightforward to, I think you'd make a point, town clerk, that we don't actually own the town beds at the end of the day, so that it's not within our gift to sort of keep them in perpetuity, etc. But we could certainly put it in now, and hopefully find a balance for people to sort of recognise the guinea pig there, and also looking there little.
Happy to propose, Jim. Happy to propose.
Okay, everybody in favour? Agreed, thank you. Next item for us to consider is it is the East Court Turners Hill Rec thing. You have.
Yeah, it's in your notes. But I can do it.
Right, so hopefully people have a chance to read about the bin. Obviously, council contacted us to pick up on the questions in respect of it. What we have been told, if we wanted to have a bin at Turners Hill Road Rec, where we do get some complaints that it needs one. So the updated cost from MSD's contractor is it'll be £550 to £600 per year to collect. And that is for once a week collection. Obviously, it's a rec that we don't particularly use that much for council activities, but it's something that we may be looking at in the future in terms of what the potential is to use that rec, especially if we've got what was the Old Hill Place Farm Estate just down the road, and it might be something that gets more use. But really, people got any particular thoughts or questions on the bin and whether we want to spend £600 on installing one and having it collected? It would be outside the usual.
That, Chair, to see that that's 550 to 600 is for the collection,
Yeah.
and on top of that, a bin will be a couple £100 for us to source that.
Council point.
Yeah, so in my imaginary bin that I've been putting littering on my regular in the summer months. Anyway, I'm losing the will to live because I just sworn I did it more recently than anyway, time wise. I think my recollection of this imaginary bin was that it was always full. So I always remember walking up that hill, picking up litter as I went, because I'm sad like that, or maybe good, depending on your viewpoint, put it in that bin, and it was always heaving or full. And in a lot of cases, I believe, because there wasn't a dog bin there, people used to put, unfortunately, although where else do you put it if there's not a dog bin in there? So yeah, I would be in favour of this. It is, even though it's, as I say, it's out of the way, it's a surprisingly full up bin, and so more people must be walking past it, putting in their litter or using that park than I have seen use the park. I'm shocked at the cost. I don't know what we pay on average for a bin. Do we know roughly? Is it like for any other bin in the town centre? Do we know roughly?
It's going to be about £150, £160 from the top of my head.
Okay, so it's about 4 times the cost. Okay,
The actual purchase.
Well, no, the ongoing. Sorry, the
So I mean,
ongoing.
the cost ongoing is going to be just over £10 a week, isn't it? Which I suppose is for someone to go specifically to collect it, dispose of it, and things like that. I mean,
Yeah, I was just trying to compare it to the cost for other bins, just to kind of, I have no idea how much it costs to.
They're wrapped up in a contract.
In contract, if we to take the total cost divided by the total, what is that roughly? Is it around 500? In which case, an extra 600 and £100 is neither here nor there. If it's 5 times the cost, But again, I would be in favour. I think it's one of those things where the cost is the cost. But if it's going to be used, it's going to be used.
Councillor Peacock, then Councillor Hughes.
I can't recall if it's possible to have perhaps weekly or fortnightly collections. If that was possible, would that be a more economical, sensible
So,
route to go?
I think this is a weekly, just a once a week collection. I think the danger is that it becomes, you've got a lot of very old bin rubbish, which won't be very nice after a couple of weeks. If it's sort of
I
bin,
think what we need to do, Chair, is
and it's also quite full.
probably put it in.
Yeah.
I think Councillor Pond, what you just said there is absolutely right. I think we need to put it in, and I think we probably need to put it in on a weekly collection and monitor it. And if we get told that actually they're collecting a half empty bin, then we will see if we can move to a every other week collection.
Yeah.
The only thing that concerns me slightly about that is that we are told that it is quite well used by dog walkers, because it's really a dog poo bin they want. We can't put one in because we can't include, we can't have a new collection round to pick up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Okay, so again, councillors in favour? Okay, thank you for that, Councillor. Next item on the agenda, the bike shelter. So. So I know we're getting some antisocial, well, basically we're getting some antisocial behaviour in respect to the bike shelter, and I think the proposal is that we take it down and we keep it and see if it's got any, could be repurposed or used again in the future. Councillor Hughes.
So I found the report really interesting reading in terms of the antisocial behaviour, and I know we've talked about it before, but it does seem to be escalating. I think the recommendation made some sense, but I just wonder if we are removing needed facilities, because then we come on to talk about the baby changing facilities because of antisocial behaviour. So whether we are removing much needed facilities to overcome an issue, well, we're not dealing with the actual issue, and it's really what else can we do about a growing issue? Because we can keep taking things away, but we need to work out how we deal with the issue.
Yes.
I think that's a very, very fair point. It actually gets very, very little use as a bike shelter, very, very little use as a bike shelter, because it is right down the far end. Councillor Odie will bear me out on this, because it's right down the far end of and it's dark down there. During the winter months, nobody who does bike to the council offices is prepared to use it. So we tend to find Michelle Kitchener, the lady who has the art studio on the top floor, she bikes in, but she actually attaches her bike to the fire exit rather than using the bike shelter. There's never a bike in the bike shelter. Councillor will know, and I'm sure committee will remember, we've talked last time about reciting a new bike shelter a little bit more centrally, which is something we're in the process of doing. So it is going to be re-provisioned, but at the moment, I'll be absolutely honest, nobody uses it. It's just the youngsters just use it as somewhere to stand and keep out of the rain, and to it's not a great bike shelter, is it? Deputy Town? No, it's got a strange.
I'll be polite and say no.
I have no idea where it came from. I think it's had its day. So yes, there is to be re-provision in a better position.
Okay, so any objections? Oh, Councillor Point.
And again, sort of, Councillor Hughes, are they just gonna, so by taking away somewhere they shelter from the rain, are we gonna move them on? Have we thought about, and I don't know the answer, where they will then move to? Because they will probably not decide to all go home and go their separate ways. They will congregate somewhere else, and I just don't know where that is. So my point is, if we getting rid of it, we may create a bigger problem by moving them somewhere else, and to the point of, so I'm just, before we remove it, maybe we just need to think about where they might go, because that might create a big
Alice
problem.
might make comments, so Alice, will you?
It wasn't, I just wanted to say, is standing under a shelter, what ASB are they causing, standing under a shelter?
Oh, okay, they break the shelter, they bent some of the various different
Right.
bits of the bikes are supposed to be on, there's no bikes attached to them anyway. They like to play football out there, so we have had a few people complaining about cars because they don't seem to look for space, everybody. We have had issues with, not a lot, but we have occasionally found little packets of weed down there, so we do know that there's a bit of that goes on. But they have broken the shelter on more than one occasion, so it's just not an appropriate place. That's the problem.
I mean, it's not been used as a cycle shelter, it wasn't intended to be just a sort of other shelter, so, we're looking at, wanting.
There is another shelter there, isn't there? There's a cigarette shelter there, so there is somewhere else.
I have to propose,
With the shelter on it,
I have to propose to remove
In the
the
night,
shelter.
not in the dark.
If anyone's had a second. Thank you, those in favour? Right, thank you very much. And then the final item, we need to just agree, again, it's sort of a bit similar theme to what we've just been discussing, but similarly with the public toilets in these courts, removing the baby change unit. And from the discussion I had with the town clerk earlier, I know it's pretty disgusting what is being found in and around on the baby change unit, and it's sort of beyond beyond materials that are on that unit, it's also being vandalised and destroyed and isn't at all really fit for purpose, and I don't think anybody would want to use it. So, town clerk, do you have anything to add on that? It's sad, but unfortunately it's not being.
Committee members who have been on this committee a little while will remember that it was a former councillor who actually asked if we could put the baby change into the gents loo, pointing out that a lot of dads do look after the youngsters and they do need the facility. So we put it in, and unfortunately, on almost a weekly basis, Alison is getting reports that it's been damaged, as the report says, that the strap has been melted. The boys go in, I've got pictures upon pictures which we can show you, where the table is down and it's just got drugs on the top of it, or what's left of. And unfortunately, it's not being used for what it should be used for. Nobody is going to be changing a baby on that unit. And it's such a shame because it was such a lovely idea, and it should be used for the right thing. But we have this baby change units, we have this problem over and over again.
Okay, so I mean, if it's not being used, again, it's encouraging that bad behaviour. Are we happy to propose to remove it? I'm proposing.
sadly, I'm happy to second it. It is with regret really, but nobody's using it for baby changing because they can't, and it's sad.
So all those in favour? Thank you very much. Thank you again, Alison, for that report. So next item is the burial services report. There's no particular items to specifically agree, but I have to send any questions or comments on the report.
Sorry, before we move on, just defibrillator, if I may, sorry to be a pain. I just wanted to understand what we've had I recall discussion before about the defibrillators in the town, and the gentleman, sorry?
The volunteer.
The volunteer,
Yeah.
so just wondered if there was an update around that and what the council's position. Has there been any ask or further request of the council in relation to that?
I'm not sure where we are, is my answer, I'm afraid. I haven't, Steve has advised he's giving it up, but I don't know that we've actually got to the fact that he has given up. I know he had some nibbles of people who were potentially interested in looking after that. but I haven't had an update for a while, so I'm going to go back and ask Alison, but we'll get back to you.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, Chair.
Thank you, councillor Pond. Burial services report, for our consideration, I think, we've been asked to particularly note the wording for the brass plaque for the memorial bench, which is being installed and significance of the victory in Europe, victory Japan commemoration. Has anyone got any questions or comments on the report? Are we happy to accept that report? And again, thanks Sarah and team for their hard work on keeping our cemeteries, keeping on top of it. I know you said there's a lot of work, particularly with the Queen's Road Cemetery, to try and keep that in any.
The weather doesn't help. It really doesn't.
Okay, so thank you, Sarah. So moving on to item 8, events. Councillor Point.
Sorry, I just wanted to say thank you under the agricultural vehicle repairs, and I think we should just call this out to those that may be watching this back online, is, you know, thank you to Mr. Hayward and Mr. Woodward for sourcing the spare part, which has obviously saved, when we talk about all the money we're looking to spend, so that saved something in the region of £575. So I just want to say thank you to them. That's some, you know, money that we'll put to good use elsewhere. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Pond. Yeah, thank you for those judgments. Item 8, events, just for an update, I think we all know all the what's planned for for the D-Day 80 commemorations, but would you like to add anything, Alice?
Planning's taking place for D-Day. It's going to start at 6 o'clock. We're going to have fish and chip vans there and some form of children's entertainment. We're going to have the museum, we're going to have a stall there with some memorabilia, and John Chisholm from council as well is going to have his private collection. And we've got a D-Day trail around the field. We're going to have a PA system to broadcast the BBC commentary. Hopefully some school children and some cadets will be attending, and the beacon lighting at 9:15.
Thank you, Councillor Hughes.
Yeah, Alice, thank you for all the arrangements. I know it's quite a major event and a very poignant one to many. I've seen it's been included in the very good events leaflet that we've all been handing out, so that's great. Is there any other way that we're publicising it? You know, this is also one-off for the town, and we know that even things like East Court Live that people come to every year, a lot of people still say, I don't know about that, I've never heard about it. I just wondered if there's any other additional ways we could be advertising it to make it really a very, very memorable event.
Are we going to put posters up? We could potentially put a banner up. We're going to go on Meridian FM. We're going to have something in EG Living magazine. We've got it on our Visit Grimsby website. I'm sure we'll be putting it on the Town Council website. Any other suggestions, let me know.
Facebook communities, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
of course, yeah, Facebook.
Yeah,
It's gone to schools.
Yeah, it's really in touch with the schools, because we're trying to get the schools to come along and to be involved in some singing and what have you. So I would hope that will then go out through them. There's an event to come to. But yeah.
No, thank you very much. It's beyond that, there's obviously a full calendar with something for everyone, hopefully, this year. Lots of things for everyone. So thank you very much for that, Alice. So that item is just further noting.
Oh,
So-
sorry, can I just
Yeah.
add one more thing? At the end of that about volunteering,
Yeah.
just another appeal, please, that we really need volunteers for all of our events, and they really can't happen without people. So if you're available, please let me know so I can make a plan for each event. It'd be really helpful, thank you.
Councillor Pond.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going. I think the volunteering, the more we can sort of engage with the community, get them involved. I just wonder whether there's an email address, and maybe I'm over-engineering this, but a simple form. A lot of people go email, I need to copy that into my email thing. And for some people, that I know it sounds like quite simple for most of us, but some people, they just want to literally hit a I'm interested, put their name, email address, and it automatically do it? Do we have something already, a form that people can?
Do you mean for councillors or just?
No, for the general public, just to, so rather than have to email you directly. And again, just anything we can do to make it as easy as possible. And it may sound, for most of us, we can easily copy and paste in our email systems, but for some, they just want to, maybe of a certain age, may just find it easier if they've just got something they can easily click on, put in their details, because they may not have an email address as well, maybe
So
just.
that was certain age, they'll be coming in person.
But that is quite possible.
But yeah, I can look at
Yeah, just
a web
something
form.
simple,
Yeah,
just
okay.
simple web form.
I'll look into that.
On our website, you mean?
On the website, yes.
Okay.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, item 9, St Margaret's Loop. We've got an update on that really. Recommendation for us to allow the Commission to draft plan, which is at £2,225. Town Clerk, do you want to perhaps just give us a bit of an update since we last met?
Yeah, the report's obviously got the full update in there for where we are, and you've got my report, Chairman, so I can't speak to it. But I've had I need to get back to Mark Gray at Gray Estate, thank you, who is our agents with regards to the work for this. And we have been asking, as we put in the report, we've been asking Railway Paths to please provide us with their structural surveys and the structural diagrams of the bridges. I had a phone call from Mark this week. He dropped me an email and asked me to ring him. I just haven't got back to him yet, to say that according to Railway Paths, there are absolutely no structural plans to be found anywhere of the bridges. They've looked in Waterloo Arches and all other places. They haven't made reference to any of their inspections. I am going to go back and ask specifically about that, because that was one of the things we had asked for. If there are no structural plans available, we may have to spend more than our £2,225 plus that, because somebody's going to have to work out the dimensions of these bridges. And, we were trying to keep those costs down by, come on, let's have the original drawings. And unfortunately, they're saying we can't find them anywhere, which is typical, I suppose, but it's rather annoying. So I think I'm suggesting or asking.
Yeah, so you're asking if we would go up to 5,000, up to 5,000,
Just in case.
just in case we need to commission that extra work so that we can get this moving. That's the peacock.
Yeah, this is big. St Margaret's has obviously been going on 35 years, but this particular work with Railway Pathways started probably 17 or 16 when I was chairman of ANT, and it's gone through many different hands, chairman, different leaders, particularly the current leader. And I'd just like to thank the town clerk and all the councillors that put their effort into it. Railway Pathways, I'm sorry if this upsets them if they watch this, are not easy to deal with. They are very, very difficult to deal with. It'll be a miracle if we can get this across the line. And I do think for an extra few £1,000s, if we're going to take this on board, we need to understand obviously the structural integrity of those bridges.
Yeah.
And it costs an extra couple of thousand, even 10,000, we have to spend that money. Because once it's live, sorry Chairman, I think it'll be transformational, and very positive for our
Yeah,
town.
no, I agree. And I have also asked the town clerk whether in light of this potential extra cost, whether there are other ones that we might envisage coming up further down the line that could sort of throw a spanner in the works. And undoubtedly something may, but at the moment we're not aware of any other council projects.
Just to echo that, I think this is one thing, and I know a number of you who keep asking on progress on this. I'm very impatient, and I've certainly not been around as long as quite a few of you. In terms of just the quote for the repairs to the retaining wall, now maybe we don't want to disclose on a public record what the exact amount is of that quote. Can we give? We've had a quote back. Can we give an indication of the range?
We haven't had a quote.
We haven't had one at all yet.
Still waiting,
Okay.
I'm afraid. As soon as I've got something on that, we'll get you. We asked Mark Ridley, who does a lot of the work for us, to give us one of those type of figures.
Yes.
He has said that it's going to need scaffolding, so that's going to cut the cost, as we all know scaffolding does. But I said if we can just have a one of those figures,
Yeah.
then I know whether I need to go and get more quotes, and that's the problem, I'm still waiting on that. Obviously he liaises with Alison, Alison's on holiday at the moment, but when she comes back, this is something I'm gonna be pushing again, please, can we have a quote, I've been asking this for so long. Unfortunately, he's got a lot of work, and this isn't his highest priority, but if we can't get one from him, I'm gonna need one from somebody else. It was going to cost us to have the estimate done if we had gone through the contractor that Bray Estates were going to suggest. So that was why it was, well, could we ask Mark Ridley to see what he can do and give us a first indication as to where we're going with this, and we're still waiting. But I will chase what's else.
I think it comes to a point of if that's holding up
It is.
progress, then we probably need to just go again to the point. Whilst everything, the stars are aligning, let's jump on that before they come out of alignment would be my kind of thought process.
Sorry, John, would it be prudent to perhaps suggest a higher amount then? Does the town clerk think that would be more prudent in the current situation, or is she happy with 2?
No, I think we're asking to vary it up to 5.
Sorry, I missed that one.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm happy to propose that. Councillor, you second, all those in favour? Thank you. Item 10, Sunnyside Farm terms and conditions. These are presented to us for approval. Does anyone have any comments or questions on the terms and conditions? I'm happy to propose them.
I'm happy to second those, those seem very.
Yeah, if there's any problems with them, they can always be
They can do amended, yeah.
at a later date.
They're very thorough.
All those in favour?
Sorry, can I just ask, was there anything the officers wanted to draw our attention to in relation to any particular nuances, and maybe the answer's no?
The terms and conditions.
Is there anything particularly unusual compared to others? Quite standard, thank you.
Based on very similar ones we've got here and at the courthouse.
Okay, so I think I propose and seconded it. All those in favour? Thank you. So item 11, the Queen Victoria Jubilee drinking fountain. So it's good news. This will be opening again for the first time in I don't know how long, and on the 19th of April. And East Grinstead Town Council will be taking responsibility for the ongoing
I
maintenance
can
of.
give you a hot off the press advice on
Please,
that one that came in this afternoon.
Enjoy those.
That West Sussex County Council have confirmed all is well, and that they're happy to give us the responsibility. We just have to provide them evidence for our £10 million public liability, which we've done. And it's now just a case of whatever they have to do with the district council. So she was going back to the district to relinquish them from their responsibility in order to then pass it on to us. So target date of 19th of April is looking good.
Thank you, Town Clerk, and thank you to everybody involved in this project, which is, again, I mean, the thing is, this has taken a very long time to get to this stage. You know, you can just imagine how something like Margaret's Leap is going to pan out, but.
Do we have any idea of the time?
It's in the morning, I think.
19th of April.
I'll know that.
Yeah, I've got a feeling it's around 10:30.
Yeah, 10:30, an opening.
Yeah.
Some school children.
Yeah.
Escorts primary school children,
Escorts,
year 3.
Then
And some cyclists and yeah, all types of things.
Cyclists. That's a bit weird, isn't it? Yes, well, there'll be lots of bottles being filled, I'm sure.
Yes.
But no, it's really, really exciting, and I think as Pico mentioned the signage earlier as well, which will look really nice and draws as much attention to it, because I think a lot of people don't even know what that is.
And it is thank you to the Mad Dog Cafe, isn't it? Because they've agreed that we can put the sign on their premises, on their property, which means we don't have to install another pole, which is good news. And therefore it can just be attached looking towards the fountain. So we're not exactly sure where that's going to be yet, but we're getting there with that one. So Alison will do that.
Sorry, me again. I just want to say thank you for I clicked on the link to the page and I found it very informative. all about dolphins and how it's changed over the years. So
Fantastic.
just thank you for whoever created that page. I think that's
Fantastic.
real good, and certainly for tourist exam, we'll be interested in reading that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. So that report's just been opened. So, all noted. So on to item 12, free use of council offices. I think the report is set out self-explanatory in front of us, and I know that I think the town clerk is keen not to make sure that each group who is represented on the town council, that we don't end up sort of having ad infinitum meetings for eternity, so we're allowed up to six per year.
Chairman, it's a suggestion. This is absolutely for the committee to decide. It's simply a suggestion. At the moment, we have 3 groups effectively. We have the Conservatives, the Liberal Democrats and the Independent group. So that's 3 groups there. We could have, we have Greens, we have Labour, we have all types of different groups. So my concern was that if we just allowed you can have as many groups of meetings as you like, we could be having group meetings all the time. So that was the suggestion of the 6 a year, but it is for you to vary if you feel that's inappropriate.
It seems to me to work well with the council cycle in terms of that respect, and it seems a sensible approach. If that's all right. Has anyone got any comments on that? So we have to approve that, so I'm happy to propose that. Councillor Hughes, happy to second. All those in favour? Thank you. And next full meeting of the committee will be Thursday the 13th of June 2024, so a lot will have happened before then. So thank you everyone for their support of our events coming up to the 7th of June, and thank you for your time this evening. And I declare the meeting closed at 7:59.